Good morning, MegaWhale team, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. In today's video, we are discussing the macro and short-term price action for both Bitcoin and the total market cap, moving into what is going to be a very important weekly close and a very important upcoming week, with the risk of a negative momentum shift on the total market cap, and of course the breakdown of the 34.34 level on the daily RSI. This upcoming week could be a big one. Will we see Bitcoin crash lower to 100,000, or will the buyers come back from the dead and regain control of this price action? We'll be analyzing the daily, the weekly, the 3-day chart, and even the immediate short-term price action to discuss these topics. Before we get into it, make sure to smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos of Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, just pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, you can join us on Telegram. This is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop of cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the relevant economic news. And if you are interested in joining our VIP channel, we do have a sale on at the moment. Clicking the pinned comment of the free channel to find out all our information. You'll get access to a variety of group chats and our main trading channel where we post trading setups with exact entries, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, exclusive analysis, and so much more. Check it out. We would love to have you in there. Let's jump into the content. So on the 3-day chart, Bitcoin has, of course, now come down to retest the 50 EMA and Gaussian channel upper band. It has done that as a consequence to a continued correction and subsequent rejection from that $112,000 level, officially breaking down below this broader horizontal consolidation, beginning the move toward the downside, that sell side liquidity target at $98,000 to $100,000. Of course, the 3-day chart is showing us we do have a degree of dynamic support here, that being the 3-day Gaussian channel and 50 EMA. We have seen on charts such as the weekly chart how these two levels, when tested at the same time, have acted as temporary or even absolute supports in the past. So we do know Bitcoin has the potential to show some degree of a bullish reversal at the moment on the short term, and we also know that the loss of the 50 EMA and the Gaussian channel upper band will actually act as trigger points to confirm we are going into that midline level, which is that $100,000 region. We'll come back and discuss this in today's video. Of course, with the weekly candle close just around the corner, we do have the risk of a negative momentum shift on the total cryptocurrency market cap, as well as the altcoin market cap, really locking in that bearish divergence on the weekly, again signifying an increased risk of a correction back into that 940 billion region. So across the board, it does look weak for the market, and the market does appear to be continuing downwards, and that is the overall expectation still. Again, if you've been following the channel, you would know I turned bearish on Bitcoin at 122,300 right upon the break of structure failure. And I've been telling you guys, I am bearish still, and I am currently still bearish since I'm still expecting lower prices, and I'll be discussing what that looks like in the video today and what needs to happen for me to turn bullish again. Let's get started on the market data, 24-hour volume and liquidations. Now, it is the weekend, of course, volume always drops. We're at 195 billion, down a whopping 51%. Liquidations down again a massive 70% at 164 million here. If we just take a look at the price action of Bitcoin, even on the hourly chart, we can see we have had next to no volatility, next to no movement over here. Very small range, about $1,000 range here, pushing very slowly up into this prior break of structure. just below this VRPV gap into essentially a point of resistance. So we do run the risk of corrections again from this level, which we're discussing in today's video, of course, but we have pushed up into a level of resistance, which we are currently challenging as we speak. But you can see just how little amount of volatility we've had there for Bitcoin. The DXY holding steady above the uptrend at the moment. That's all we care about. We are watching the new week. If we break the uptrend, we could see corrections downward. Again, particularly if interest rates end up dropping, we will very likely see that downward move. And of course, if we see the DXY break back above this 99 to 100 level, we expect continuations higher. Until then, the overall expectation is that slow downward grind. The S&P 500 showing a little bit of weakness here. Again, we broke above the 6,500 level on a daily, creating that break of structure, but we've broken back below it almost immediately, and we do have negative momentum. So again, a break of a prior high with negative momentum often doesn't result in or maintained continuations. It generally results in failed breakouts. So again, at the moment, we are expecting corrections to the S&P 500 unless we can see the price really maintain above that 6,500 level. Correction targets to the S&P 500 at the moment is just going to be this uptrend. Again, only upon the loss of this uptrend do we run the risk of any sort of larger pullback. Those larger pullbacks could take us into 6,250. That would be a major point of support where we would definitely see some sort of attempted bounce to occur from. And if we drop below that level, we could see a much larger correction take place to around 5,800. Now, that is, of course, worst case scenario. For that to happen, we need to drop below this major support. We need to lose the uptrend and we need to fail to get back above 6,500. So watching how the new week unfolds, but overall, this trend is unsustainable. At some point, this trend is going to break, and when we do break it, we will very likely see corrections at least to the 50 EMA, complete mean reversion, and of course, potentially into sell side liquidity at 6,250. That is it for the broader markets, guys. Let's jump into Bitcoin. Before we do, make sure to sign up to BitGet, BitUnits, and BingX with the exchange links down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45%. You'll support me making this content on a daily basis, and you'll support yourself in a trading on exchanges I essentially use and I trust. So go ahead and sign up with those links down below, get those bonus discounts, get all the exclusive campaigns we offer on a monthly basis for bonus rewards, and of course, we'll play an ad and we'll jump back in. If you are looking for a new exchange or just want to support the channel, sign up to BitUnits with the link down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume, as well as access to a bonus reward center, and of course, all of the exclusive campaigns we run on this exchange. You'll also get access to BitUnits being a non-KYC exchange, meaning you can sign up from anywhere in the globe without regulations. And most importantly, I only promote exchanges I trust and I use. As you can see, I trade on BitUnits very regularly, being the highest VIP level with over $500 million in trading volume for the last 30 days. And lastly, if you were interested in signing up to our other two exchanges, BingX or BitGet, you can also do that via the links down below. You as well will get the 15% trading fee discount and everything else that comes with it. Go ahead and sign up. Thank you for supporting. Let's jump back in. Okay, legends, let's go ahead and jump into it. Today, we are starting on the higher time frames, then breaking it down to the short term. So starting on the weekly chart, we know already we have a weekly close coming in 24 hours. As you can see, the total cryptocurrency market is not looking good for its weekly candle close. With just 24 hours remaining, the RSI is currently sitting underneath the uptrend, signifying a potential negative momentum shift. Now, the total cryptocurrency market cap isn't dragging Bitcoin down. It isn't moving the market. It is a representation of how all of the assets in cryptocurrency are generally performing. And again, the weight of Bitcoin being that of Bitcoin dominance around 58% does still not only provide the majority of the volume in the cryptocurrency market, but it also mostly determines where the cryptocurrency market is going. So if we see Bitcoin go down, generally we do see the cryptocurrency market cap come down as well. In this particular instance, we have seen Bitcoin correct below that weekly uptrend in the RSI many weeks ago. We've already seen the loss of its trend line, so Bitcoin is leading the way here. We could almost say that the total cryptocurrency market cap has been a little bit more resilient, and that is as a consequence to the altcoin market being much more resilient over the last few weeks, likely due to the building optimism around potential interest rate reductions. Anytime we see more hope in the market, more optimism in the market, we generally see the higher risk assets perform better. Again, it just comes back to that simple graph we showed you guys, what we've been talking about a long time on this channel, but we showed you, I think, last week. This over here, the perceived systematic risk impact, okay, on, again, the risk and estimated return for assets. And if you want to look at crypto as a whole, you could break this into, altcoins, high caps, low caps, mid caps, and Bitcoin. But the overall premise is that as we start to see perceived systematic risk decrease, the estimated return and risk, the beta for these assets begin to do so as well. So we have an environment that facilitates more aggressive decisions, and generally those aggressive decisions are determined to be aggressive based on the risk return, and these lower cap altcoins, or these altcoins, generally have a higher risk return than Bitcoin, hence why we've seen money rotate into those, hence why we've seen the altcoin market cap hold much better than what we have seen for Bitcoin, which is now reflected on the total market cap. But if we start to see this continued downtrend develop, we will see the altcoin market cap negatively catch up to Bitcoin, and that will drag, of course, the total market cap downwards. So bearish expectations. Number one, we know already trend, structure, strength is what we needed for confirmed breakdowns. At the moment, we have we have none of these at all, right? The weekly candle close, if bearish, will confirm we have negative momentum, which is strength. We have negative strength. We have not broken the trend, and the structure is not below the $3.65 trillion level. So what we need to see to be completely bearish on the total cryptocurrency market cap is we need to see the loss of the uptrend, the loss of 3.65 trillion, and the loss of the uptrend in the RSI. When all of that happens, we are 100% expecting lower moves for the total cryptocurrency market cap. Now, the reason why this is relevant, because while there is a chance for the total cryptocurrency market cap to bounce, there is also a degree of hope for Bitcoin. Although Bitcoin's looking terrible, there is still hope for Bitcoin while we are sitting above these levels. So we need to be aware of these levels that are total, because when we break below these levels, the potential for Bitcoin to bounce over the potential for Bitcoin to correct into this 100,000 level becomes significantly skewed toward the downside. Let's jump over the altcoin market cap really quickly. The altcoin market cap, again, bearish divergence here on the weekly, confirming on the weekly candle close. That is about all we're watching for on the weekly candle close, just as bearish divergence. If we're zooming down to a smaller time frame, you can see we are also watching, we'll go ahead and draw it out a little bit clearer, this $1 trillion support. You can see it's acted as historical support, historical resistance, and current support. So we want to see how the total altcoin market responds to that level. Of course, breaking below 1 trillion, we have seen what has happened before. We've seen corrections. We would expect equal kind of moves back down to 920, 940 billion if we break back below that 1 trillion level. While we remain above that level, again, there's hope we see continuations upwards. That is that, guys. Let's jump over to Bitcoin's weekly. So Bitcoin's weekly, there isn't really anything we're watching here for the weekly close, because everything we've been watching for, whether it be the breakdown of the RSI over here back in July, the loss of the uptrend back in mid-August, and the loss of the 62.09 as well back in mid-August, have all happened. So in terms of the weekly chart, we're not really watching anything specifically for the weekly. We're more or less watching the shorter time frames and hoping we see continuations with what has happened. So let's just explain what has happened. Negative momentum shift on Bitcoin, breakdown of the trend line, and the loss of the 62.09 all suggests that the market is in control of the solids at the moment. If we're looking at the macro trend is still upward, but what we are seeing here is we are seeing a reversal in the macro uptrend. These reversals historically, if we look at the 62.09 as breakdown points represented by these orange circles, we can see that upon the breakdown of 62.09 and the loss of a uptrend on the weekly of the RSI, we have seen corrections towards the 50 EMA, correction to 50 EMA, correction to the 50 EMA, correction to the 50 EMA, potential correction to the 50 EMA, which will take us to 100,000 to 98,000 as a potential target. So history repeats, we'll see that move play out. Let's jump over to a 3-day chart now. The 3-day chart is acting as a potential support with the 50 EMA being tested. And of course, the Gaussian channel upper band. Now, the 50 EMA has been tested. The last time we tested the 50 EMA was when we broke out of it in beginning to late April, which kind of triggered that aggressive uptrend. So it has shown us that the market has rebalanced back to the 50 EMA, mean reversion has taken place, bullish volatility has reduced back to a healthy amount, essentially rebalanced itself over here, and we are retesting this as dynamic support. If we break below the 50 EMA, and the Gaussian channel upper band, historically when we do so, we generally tend to find the price corrects towards the midline of the Gaussian channel, which we can see sits at 100 to 98,000. Again, confluence with that higher time frame correction target of 98 to 100,000. We have confluence there. So watching to see how that reacts. But we have also seen the 50 EMA and Gaussian channel, particularly in the weekly chart, act as reversal points upward for the price action. So we know that here on the 3-day, we are kind of at a crossroads. We have two choices really for the price action. If we drop just a little bit lower, that is confirmation we are crashing. If we are able to sustain here, we may potentially see the buyers try to step back in yet again. That is something we are watching on the 3-day. Let's jump over to the 1-day chart here. Very important stuff happening on the 1-day, from structural levels to, again, current trends and even the RSI. Let's start on the RSI. The 34.34 on the RSI, I want you to go on your chart. I want you to take a look at it on the daily chart. I want you to go back as many years as possible, map out every time we have broken below the 34.34 and look at what happened to the price. We'll just show you a couple. The breakdown of the 34.34 on the RSI happened here. What do we see? A large correction for Bitcoin. Let's go back. Breakdown 34.34 happened over here. What did we see? A flash correction for Bitcoin. Over here, what did we see? A flash correction. Over here, what did we see? A flash correction. Every single time we have lost the 34.34, we have seen these flash corrections for Bitcoin. But here's some good news. It has also marked the reversal point for Bitcoin at the end of these flash corrections. So what we could see, we'll show you another one right over here. Flash correction, but also the reversal point. Flash correction, but also the reversal point. We have seen every single time historically, flash corrections, but those corrections also result in reversal points. So what does that mean for us? It means that yes, if Bitcoin does continue down through the Gaussian channel, through the 50 EMA, we may very well see a flash correction of the 34.34 is lost, but guess where that takes us? It takes us into 98 to 100,000, which could be a reversal point. So that is again more confluence we are watching. Now, if we want to add even more confluence, the horizontal consolidation measured move target, the breakdown target, is looking for 98 to 100,000. Let's jump over to the immediate price action, then wrap up today's video. Immediate price action is retesting the prior break of structure. This is a point of resistance. We also do, if we zoom down to an even smaller time frame, around a 15-minute chart, we've got another break of structure up around 109,350. which lines up just above the 200 moving average. So what we are seeing here is we are seeing an initial bit of resistance. Let's just go ahead and straighten this line up really quickly for you guys, just so we can see this a little bit more clearly. Right over here, and the next one was right over here. These are our 2 points of resistance, and you can also see if we extrapolate that outwards, we can see that fills the VRPV gap. So what we are seeing here is we are able to sustain above this 108,600 level, it is likely we push up to fill the gap. This is going to be a rejection point for continuations down. If we fail to even do that, we'll be expecting direct corrections from this break of structure. Again, expecting moves into 106 to 105,000 for Bitcoin. If that happens, for the bulls to take control, we need to break above a prior lower high. I've said that religiously for the last couple of weeks. That level is 113,000 now. If we break above 113,000, that is when I turn bullish again. Until then, the trend is downward facing. Thank you for tuning in. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, guys. I'll catch you all tomorrow for the weekly candle close. It's going to be a big week, going to be a big video, a lot to talk about. I'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye.